Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel. It is your favorite girl, Mpho Mpshe. If you are new, hey sis, how you doing? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment and become part of the team. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for showing your girl love. On today's video, I'm going to be getting down and dirty and we're going to be talking about different prevention methods. Go, so take out your little notebook where you're going to write everything down because I am spilling my guts. As always, I always share my own personal experiences, so I'm not going to be talking about things that you can actually find on Google, because then what would be the use? You could just easily Google it, right? So I'm just going to be sharing my own personal experiences. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it. Give me round. I got my periods when I was in grade 8 or early grade 9. I don't remember properly, but I remember my friends and I were supposed to go to the mall. And all of a sudden, I just had these little pains going on. And then I went to the bathroom just before the last bell rang for break, I think. Second break, I assume it was second break. And when I went to the bathroom, there was like little, sort of like small blood clots or something. I didn't know what was happening, but I assumed, okay, it means I am on my period. And I didn't tell anyone. I just rolled up a little piece of tissue, girl. Like, you have to do what you have to do. And I just, laid it down, girl. And I was like, okay, I'll just sort this out when I get home. We were supposed to go to the mall. So I said to my friend, you know what, guys, I'm not feeling well. I'm going to go home. So we canceled the trip to the mall. Okay. I get home and I'm in bed. So my mom asks me, like, what's wrong? And my cousin mentions that, I just got my period. And like, my mom's like, oh, okay. There wasn't any hectic discussions about what is next, what do you do, and all of that. No, it was just a matter of her now buying me pads every single month. You know what I mean? Okay, cool. So I get used to the fact that I'm getting my periods and everything. But what I noticed was my periods were so heavy. I used to have the worst period pains. It was almost like, every single time when I had my periods, it was the most excruciating thing ever as compared to my friends. Because obviously, if my friends were on my periods, like, and that's it. But for me, it was like, I'm on my periods. I don't even want to talk. I don't even want to walk. I want none of that. And I remember I used to work at the tuck shop. So the tuck shop lady would give me salt and vinegar chips and some Coke, and she would say it would help. But for me, I found that it didn't really help. Okay, cool. So I think for the first year, I just had to keep up with the pain until one of my friends told me, like, no, I got prevent and everything. So it was almost like a trendy thing. We weren't sexually active at the time, because I think we were in grade 9 or grade 10. We weren't sexually active, but it was like a thing, like, don't prevent. And I was like, oh, okay, I might as well do it. After all, I do have my own medical aid. I took my medical aid and I went to the local doctor and I explained to him, like, also he would ask me, like, are you on your periods yet? Like, we were trying to have that little bees and what conversation, like sex and reproduction and where your periods comes in and all of that. So that's the conversation we were having with the doctor. And so I explained to him that, you know what, when I am on my periods, like, I feel like I am dying. I go on my periods for like 14 days. So he's explaining to me, no, it's quite normal when you're new, like, and when you're very young still, to be getting periods for such a long duration. And as for the pains, he doesn't really know. It does differ from woman to woman. But what he did suggest is, like, okay, let me put you on a contraceptive, right? The contraceptive wasn't because I was sexually active. As I've already mentioned, it was because he thought, or he explained to me, that maybe it's going to help with the period pains and the duration of my period. Okay, cool. So I was like, no, it's fine. And he suggested the 2-month injection, which was the Norethisterone. Okay, and I was on Norethisterone, and every single time I had to go get my injection, best believe I did not miss my date. I was always on time, because you know what, it made such a huge difference. Maybe the duration of my period reduced by at least 4 or 5 days, and even the flow wasn't as heavy as it was when I started having my period. So I continued with Norethisterone, I think from that grade 10, 11, 12. First year I was still using Norethisterone, right? And then in first year I would obviously get it at the local clinic at school instead of going to the doctor. Okay. Then this one day, my cousin was like, you know what? I want to go get my prevention shot at the local clinic. Kind of, we are back home now, you know. And I'm like, oh, okay, let me accompany you. After all, I'm also due for my injection, you know. Okay, cool, Ratama. We get to the clinic and hi guys, I have a lot to say about public clinics, but that's not what this video is about. Sharp, we get there, and first of all, the ladies are so mean towards us. I don't even know why, but they were like extremely mean towards us. Okay, sharp, we go through the procedure of taking pregnancy tests. They come back negative. And guess what? This lady doesn't even ask us which injection we're on. I don't know if why she just assumed that we were on Depo, but that's the shot that we got. We both got the Depo shot. I didn't realize that she had given me the Depo shot until when I got home. I looked back at the date where I was supposed to return, and I calculated it was actually 12 weeks instead of the normal 8 that I'm used to. And I'm like, oh, okay, it means that this injection lasts longer, which means I don't have to go to the doctor after 8 weeks. I'll just go after 12. Boy, that was the beginning of all of my problems, all of my issues. I do not know why that Depo shot was just, it just literally messed up everything. Yo, Depo kile ampakela, guys. It messed up. You know what is everything? I remember I went on my period for a whole maybe 2 or 3 months straight. I don't even want to lie. I thought it was normal. Maybe I was like, oh, okay, maybe I don't even remember what I was thinking then, but I just thought, okay, maybe it's it's fine. It's not a big deal. I had to wear a pad all the damn time. And you guys know that when you wear a pad for too long, like you get the nappy rash. Guys, yo, I had so many issues. Yo, I remember I went back to school and I had my period for the longest time, guys. Like it wasn't stopping, and if I thought it had stopped, it would, let's say, stop for a little bit, then I'd just get comfortable. I wear my underwear without any panty liner, any pad or anything. And if I were at school and I'm just sitting and I could feel myself just letting go, oozing, and I was like, God, not again. That Depo shot literally messed everything up for me. I don't even want to lie. So I went back to the local clinic at school and I explained to the nurse, like, you know what, I was on Norethisterone and this nurse gave me the Depo shot. So she was also like, but Lorena, why didn't you mention that you were on Norethisterone? I was like, I didn't even know much about Depo at the time, to be honest, because the first doctor that suggested a prevention method mentioned Norethisterone. He never mentioned Depo, you know, so I didn't know much about it. And so she's like, yo, she's sorry about it. And then she's like, you know what, I'm gonna have to get on the pill to try and regulate my periods. Now guys, I'm on my third mode. Yeah, prevention, something totally new now. And now it's the pill. The pill I was scared because everyone kept saying they forget their pill, like, yo, really stuck. But I didn't have a choice because I was trying to now get back to regulating my periods, because now I'm going on my periods like I'm a crazy person and it's not cool anymore, because now there's nappy rash, girl. Like nothing is cute. Okay, sharp, I get back on the pill and I was on the Yasmin pill. Yasmin, I think I was on Yasmin for a good 6 months before everything went back to normal. After things went back to normal, I went back to my doctor and I said, please, can we start the Norethisterone cycle again? Remember guys, that Norethisterone for me was helping me with my period pains and with my flow also, and also it was a prevention method. Okay, sharp, I went back to Norethisterone and life was good. Second year, they introduced this 5-year implanon. I'm excited guys because I've been a guinea pig for how long now? I've been a guinea pig since grade 10. I'm tired of these injections. I'm just thinking, okay, this one is gonna last 5 years. I'm gonna be happy. All my life problems are over. Hi, sharp. At school, you had to book an appointment in order to get the implanon. So I went and I booked an appointment. I think they said I must come back 2 or 3 days later. I did, and I got it. It was so quick. Like they clean you up and whatever, and then they just shoot it in your arm. And at that time, I think in second year, I assume it was 2015. So it was still in the never say test. it wasn't maybe as good as it probably is now, but it was still in test. Okay, guys, there goes my periods again. I am on my period the whole month. Okay, a month and a half. Guys, okay, 2 months. So I remember the nurse that said, you know what, a lot of people had come back complaining, the first 2 months they went on their periods non-stop. So I shouldn't worry because it was something that was happening to everyone. Like, it was a common thing. So I was like, oh, okay, since it's a common thing, it's fine. Can they talk? Guys, third month. And I'm like, no ways. I will not cope with this. I'm so tired of nappy rash. I'm so tired of thrush. I'm over everything. I want this thing out. And you know what? I booked an appointment with the same nurse that installed it. And I said, my sister, please, this thing must go. This thing must go. Guys, can you imagine being on your periods for 3 months straight? Okay, sharp. And then after a few days, I went back and they took it out. Now I am on absolutely nothing. I'm over everything at this point. I give my next. I don't want to hear about a patch. I don't want to hear. I give my next. I don't want to hear about anything. I'm just saying, you know what? Whatever needs to flow, let it flow. Because I'm over everything now. I think a month passes and still my periods are irregular. 1 minute they're here, 1 minute they're not there. The time that they're supposed to be there, they aren't there. So it was just such a confusing time for me. And what was worse was the fact that I didn't know who to talk to at the time, you know what I mean? Because had I gone to the first doctor that prescribed Norethisterone to me, it would have been like, but so why no pap? You know, that's how I felt in the moment. Then I went back to the doctor who gave me the first Norethisterone injection, and I explained to him what I had been through, the cycles that I had gone through, the wave, the curves, everything. I explained everything to him, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna have to put you on Yaz. Now, it's the second time I'm on Yaz, guys. The one thing I will say about the pill is you just have to remember to take it. You just have to remember to take it, or else Zomita girl. Zomita. Like, you will fall pregnant, and it's not cute. Okay, to be in school and to have all this. I was like, okay. So I used to set an alarm every day at 8. I remember Ores. We used to watch Generations or whatever, and I knew at 8 I'd be home. No maranjani. So I always took it at 8. I set an alarm on my phone and I took it at 8. Then I continued on Years for another 6 months, I think. And because I was like, you know what, my fear of getting pregnant has just always been there. I don't want to fall pregnant in school. I didn't want to become a sad statistic. Nothing wrong with falling pregnant young or whatever, but I'm just saying, personally for me, it just wasn't in the books. So I went back and I got the Norethisterone shot. I was on the Norethisterone shot up until last year, November maybe, or December, something like that. Then I was like, oh girl, you have been preventing for the longest time, like what, 8-9 years now. Guys, I was like, I need a break. My system needs a break. But the other thing that I didn't know is you can't just quit these things and have everything go back to normal. No, I had to go back on Yaz for I think 2 months just to ensure that I had now regulated my periods, just to make sure that now my periods, like I need 24, 5, whatever, just to have everything be in sync. I had to go back on Yaz. So the one thing that I would like to say to you ladies, if you are struggling to get a prevention method that works for you, stop listening to the naysayers. Stop listening to what everyone is saying on the streets. You're not just gonna. Our bodies are different. It doesn't mean if your friend gained weight from Depo or from Norethisterone, you're gonna be the same. And there are so many options now. There are so many varieties when it comes to contraceptives. Don't just be thinking about injections. There are patches. There's the Marina. There's just so many options now. Go out there, do your research, ask people how their bodies reacted to it. Be open-minded. You know what I mean? And I think you will be fine. I stopped being on all of the things because like I said, it had been like 8 or 9 years. I think that enough, my system has had enough, and for now my periods are good. I don't suffer from the worst period pains. I do get period pains, but not the excruciating ones that used to kill me in high school. But yeah, so that is my story. The one that I would recommend though, that has always been good to me, is Norethisterone, the 2-month injection. It has been good to me always. I never had any side effects. I never gained weight. None of that. It didn't give me depression, anxiety, any of those things. You know what I mean? But we all have different bodies, so you might react totally differently as compared to me. You know, so that is just my story. That is just my 2 cents. But don't forget, I will leave a different, like, all the links for maybe the different types of preventions that you can get, and maybe you can just start searching for one that can work for you, you know. So thank you so much for watching. I love sharing such information with you guys. I'll totally see you guys on my next video. Mwah!